I'm just grateful for this program because it did make a lot of changes in my life. I came a long way. And when I say that, I mean a long, long way.
Recovery is pure joy and harder than hell, but it's worth it. And I'm worth it.
My journey is far from over. I will continue to ask for help and support. I will grow each day, one day at a time.
Without options, I wouldn't be here right now. I'll be still homeless on the streets tweaking.
The things I learned from the sessions at Options opened my mind. Well, it opened a whole new world.
And Options really helped guide me through it. I'm really grateful for everything, all the tools that they've supplied me with to help me navigate these past few months.
Got to a point now where I know I have to straighten up and live life the right way. I want to die sober. I don't want to die drunk, and that's where I was going. Drunk and wired, doing everything. I did every drug, you know what I mean? But anyway, I'm living a good life now. I'm happy. I'm in Options and I'm in a house and I'm happy right here.
I'm more positive. I have more relationship with my family, my daughters, and I have a positive aspect on life, okay? And God's been good to me. He's blessing me, and I have favor with him, and I can ask for nothing more. I just love him so more, and I just want to thank.
I now understand that life is all about choices. My life today is about helping others and giving back and being a positive role model.
Life is beautiful. We have only one life, and you have option to choose the right option.
I enjoyed being the guy to help people. I enjoyed putting a smile on little kids' faces, and I enjoyed putting a smile on everyone's face. And without coming to Options and without actually getting in the mess that I've gotten myself into, I would have never noticed that. And I would have never came to peace with that. I don't have to be that bad guy.
I'm grateful for the help and the knowledge I've gained from these two incredible counselors and do plan on staying connected to Options, as the staff at Options are now my second family.
While being there, I learned to open up, and it's okay to talk about my problems. I'm now working 10 to 11 hours a day. I communicate better. I learned to use my listening skills and much more.
I learned how to express different angles of my feelings and how to approach different situations.
My sobriety is number one above anyone or anything else in my life, because without that, I have nothing. And Options has taught me how to keep that, and I am forever grateful.
Upon coming here, my life was unmanageable. Today, this is not the case. This program really works. If I could do it, perhaps this would be an inspiration for someone else to do the same.
I'm actually working my first legitimate job in 16 years and paying taxes, which feels really good.
I can't thank Options enough for helping me gain full custody of my child, fixing my relationship, and most importantly, making me whole again and fully sober.
My biggest accomplishment is being clean, mending my relationship with my mom. Now I'm back at home. It's absolutely wonderful.
God has shown me many things here at Options, and I'm thankful for the steps he has given others to help me in my walk and struggle in life. No longer do I feel like I'm moving aimlessly, because I now recognize there is a course for me to take, and that's to remain clean and sober and to be a better father.
A year ago, before I came into Options, I found myself lost in a very dark cave. Thanks to Options and the support, I am recovered. I'm not only sober today, but also learned how to maintain my sobriety.
I can say that I'm ready, and I want to stay the way I am right now, stay sober, and I appreciate you guys' help.
I said, I can't do this. I cannot do this. I can't do this. And I did it. And they were very supportive.
Options was there to support me as long as I was honest about what I was going through. Now I have realistic goals with my career and education, a safe and sober support group whom I can call at any time for support or just talk and stay in touch with or plan fun things to do. I have a relapse prevention schedule I've committed to, which keeps me balanced.
Today, Options has taught me more than I thought possible, like how to deal with situations, agitations, coping skills, and how to keep my composure.
Sometimes you have to get knocked down
lower than you have ever been to stand up taller than you ever were?
What I learned from treatment, basically, in participation with Sam and Kyrie at Options, Nagar at the Right Institute, and Amanda at the Trauma Clinic, I've been able to achieve skills needed in handling complex post-traumatic stress, working knowledge of emotional intelligence, processing trauma, anger, the 5 stages of grief, depression, and resentment.
I am very proud of my efforts and accomplishments I've made so far in recovery. The fact that I am not using does not mean my trials in life are over.
Treatment helped me to learn about what are my triggers, how a trigger leads to relapse, stopping the trigger from leading to relapse. Treatment also taught me about my denial patterns and anger management.
Since coming into Options, I've learned what it truly takes and means to live a sober life. The men and women I've come to love and have respect for has helped me on how to create a safe environment for myself to be in. They've also made a massive impact on my life and how I now view recovery, also by spreading positivity.
I'm going to take away the experience I had with Options for all these years. I'm going to take with me the people that have been so kind to me and been in my corner this whole time. I'm going to take with me the knowledge and the tools to be able to function properly.
Thank you, Options, for how much you taught me. I only pray that I could be of service to others and share. This time 2 years ago, I cannot tell you where I would be today, but I knew at the rate that I was going, I wouldn't be alive. I must say that it feels really good to be able to wake up every morning of every day, God willing, and not need to put a substance in my body.
I can honestly say I'm lucky to still be alive. I have been stabbed 18 times and dragged by a car. You would think that would have scared me straight, but it didn't.
From day one, when I came home, I came to Options and I thought that this wasn't going to work. There's too many rules, there's too many regulations. But little did I know it was just the perfect amount of rules and regulations that I needed to keep going forward.
What I have learned being in Options is how to love myself and take the time to rebuild myself from the inside out. Having empathy for myself and others who also was hurting inside themselves just like me.
I learned at Options more than anything, the shame and the guilt, fear and frustration, humiliation. To sit in this space and to listen, to heal. I owe all of this to my mentor, I call him, I say Kyrie. He's been a tremendous help for me.
I learned from this program and from Options through the groups and therapy that I learned how to control my emotions, and I learned my triggers, and I learned impulse control. These things I use, on a regular basis, and they help me to stay clean every day.
Thank you to everyone here at Options Recovery Services. You guys have been an unexpected light in my life.
Being in this program, I was able to get my baby back and build a better relationship with my family and a better support system. And I also celebrated 2 years clean and sober.
Thank you for showing me that I am worthy to give and receive love, and for seeing the beauty inside of me, and for showing me that my past does not define me.
Thank you everyone at Options for all their work that you guys did and never giving up on me, even after I gave up on myself. I'm en route right now to become a parent advocate and to give back all the things, the classes that I took in Options.
I was in a point in my life where I was ready and willing for change, and Options was a perfect place to transform my life and thinking. I love my counselors at Options because they were so similar to me and eager to help and share knowledge with me so that I can live a better life.
During my time here in Options, through the curriculum and the experiences, I began to understand, the importance of not only what was going on with me, but specifically the why things were going on. So through options, I ultimately developed a set of tools and skills to consciously manage and regain control of my life.
My name is Susan Bookman Kerber. I'm one of the founding directors of Options Recovery Services. And I'm been with Options since the beginning. I previously worked in the courts and saw people coming in who were addicted to drugs and realizing that it was a revolving door for many of these people. And if there wasn't some type of intervention at some point, it would not resolve itself. So that's where I came from when I became part of one of the founding members of Options.
And my name is Suzanne Camp, and I am the Chief of Operations at Options Recovery Services. And today we're here to talk about how Options started, and who better to discuss that with than Susan Bookman, as you said, one of the founding board members of Options Recovery Services. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
I remember Dr. Davida Cody coming to one of our regular monthly meetings at the courthouse in Berkeley. She'd been introduced to one of the judges because she was very interested in working with low-income homeless people who were addicted to drugs, and a place to find people like that were in the courts. And she said that she wanted to work with the people coming into the court and helping them gain recovery. So she talked a little bit about her background, and the judges were very excited and very interested in what she wanted to do. So they turned to me. At that time, I was the director of pretrial services in the court in Berkeley. The judges turned to me and said, "Susan, why don't you help Dr. Cody set up and start a process of referring people to drug programs?" And that's how I got introduced to Dr. Cody, and that's how I started.
That is amazing. Is it true that Dr. Cody used to work for Children's Hospital, and that's where the actual idea was born?
Well, exactly. She had been in Los Angeles and resettled up here to her hometown, which is in Berkeley. And as she had been a pediatric physician, and she started working at Children's Hospital in Oakland. And one of the things that she saw with the patients coming in is most of the injuries were a result of the child's caretaker being under the influence. And her idea was, if you could help the adults recover from addictions, and you would help the children.
That's amazing.
And so that's where she got the impetus. And she herself was a recovering alcoholic, so she was very much aware of what was going on in the community and what was happening to the children. And that's where she got the idea that she wanted to help people, and the courts were the best place to do that, because most of the people eventually, out on the streets will eventually get arrested.
That's amazing. What year was Options incorporated?
Well, we started in 1997, and that was really, we weren't incorporated until 2001 as a corporation. But Dr. Davida Cody started sitting in the courtroom, in the arraignment courts. And if the judge determined, or if it was determined that the person had some alcohol or drug problems, Dr. Cody would go into the holding area and interview these people and make recommendations to the judge as to whether this person wanted to enter treatment or wanted to get clean and sober.
That is amazing. I know that Options still has a big presence in the drug courts today, and it's so interesting to hear where that was born. I've actually been with Options since 2006. My first job at Options was a volunteer position on the phones. I've worked several positions at Options and worked my way up the chain. So I'm very familiar with the ins and outs of Options, and I've seen it grow. When I first came to Options, Options was in the old Veterans Building. Everyone in the same office. The offices, administrative offices, were on a stage. And there was one office, and that was Dr. Cody's office. So I remember and I've had the privilege of watching Options just grow and flourish and professionalize, and I'm so excited to see where Options is going.
Exactly. I said we incorporated in 2001, and we were extremely fortunate before that to have gotten a grant of $300,000 from a foundation that for 3 years that helped us get off the ground, and that was what we used to hire people. And a lot of people like Suzani started as volunteers, and we worked our way up, and that first grant was really what got us started, and we got several grants since then, and now.
We just continue to grow and flourish. Today we have 2 sites in Berkeley, our original site, and an additional on Alston Way. We have an Oakland program, San Leandro program, and we're soon to be moving into Contra Costa. And it's just been absolutely exciting and a privilege and an honor to be a part of this, as I'm sure you can attest to.
I certainly can attest to that. As we enter our 25th year of operation, we're looking forward to the future and of what Options can be and will be.
Thank you so much, Susan.
Thank you.
So nice.
Thank you, Suzani. I know the organization depends on your work. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Susan Champion. I'm co-president of Options Recovery Services Board of Directors, and I'm here talking today with Mike Thomas, Director of Special Projects. Welcome, Mike.
Thank you. I'm actually Senior Director of Programs now.
Oh my goodness, you have a promotion.
I got a promotion.
Oh my
yeah.
goodness.
Just had to be updated. Yeah.
Oh goodness. Well, I'm not surprised. It's really nice. I know you were here for a while and then you went off and did some other things, and now we have you back and we're so lucky.
I'm really happy to be back.
I want to talk about some of the exciting things that are going on at Options today. When I first joined the Options Board of Directors in 2013, we were struggling in some ways. We'd had some periods of time where it was difficult to make payroll. We'd had a bunch of Board of Directors members leave, and I was working at the time as an attorney and was looking for a place for my clients to go when they were released from prison. So Dr. Davida Cody took me on a tour of the housing available through Options, and I'd had a limited background in public health, and we talked. We spent a couple of hours together, and she said, "Do you want to join the board?" I thought, okay, because I so believed in the work that Options was doing. And it's been amazing, like, to watch how Options has grown. We've doubled our budget since then. We've purchased more sober living houses. We've expanded into other counties. And we're really working on sort of a data-driven approach to our services. And some of the services that we're offering now in Berkeley and throughout the region are really groundbreaking and are serving so many people and changing so many lives. So Mike, I would love if you could tell everybody about some of the new programs that we're working on right now.
Sure, I'd love to. So the new programs we have in Berkeley are very exciting because they're brand new to what we do. So the newest program that I've developed is a crisis response team here in Berkeley that has 5 navigators that work 5 days a week, Monday through Friday from 8 to 10 p.m. And this is a brand new function of Options. And what they're called SUD navigators, and that stands for Substance Use Disorder Navigators. And what they do is they're dispatched throughout the city, and they go to different hot spots identified by the city of Berkeley, where there's encampments for unhoused, where a lot of unhoused people will congregate. And the navigators will go create relationships and offer services, and with the goal of getting them into treatment and into housing. And so far, we've been quite successful. We have another new program that will be starting next month that will be working inside of Berkeley Mental Health, where we will have one of our substance abuse master's level counselors, therapists, doing a group inside of Berkeley Mental Health for clients that are identified as having substance abuse problems. And it's an approach that's not abstinent based. So this is also new. This isn't Options is providing treatment for people that have stopped using. This is going to be bringing treatment to those that are still contemplative, that want information, that want to gain some insight on what's happening in their lives.
It's amazing, Mike. I mean, I think one of the things that has always impressed me about Options is that it is there for anyone. You know, we turn nobody away. And I know that in the past we've been very strictly abstinence-based. I'm really both inspired by and curious about this new branching into the sort of co-occurring disorder area. And I think that this is merely continuing the mission of Options, which is meeting people where they are. You know, we're not expecting people to do more than they can do, and really sort of building, as you said, those relationships of trust. Can you tell me a little bit about, for example, the navigators, where they come from? Are they people that sort of know what that?
Sure. So the navigators have both lived experience and life experience in treatment. They're all, they've been in the field for a long time. Most of them have, their background is from Cherry Hill Detox and working in Berkeley. So they're very familiar with the population. They're very familiar with the issues that are happening with this population. So they come with a very experienced, empathetic stance. They're really incredible, the work they're doing. They have a tremendous amount of patience and understanding for what a lot of the folks are struggling with out here currently. And it really shows in the outcomes and the work. They are a really talented group. They like to call themselves the dream team out there. And they're all new to Options, so they're really, they have a ton of excitement for this too, because it is new and it's very infectious. So that really goes a long way with the work they're doing. Yeah.
Teamwork makes the dream work.
That's right. That's right.
That's fabulous. It's really exciting, I think, for the board members to see Options really expanding and growing. You know, I know you were really involved in the jail work that we were doing and in the reception center things. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
Yeah, so I did help develop and start our treatment program in Santa Rita Jail. And of course, you and me both worked on our expansion in West Oakland together, which was a lot of fun, wasn't it that fun? And yeah, that's been great. One of the other things that's been really great, that's really a lot of the work you've done for Options, is the clients you refer through, long-term, through a lifetime of incarceration. And I've been really fortunate to be on the receiving end of a lot of those clients, and to be there when they get there, to be one of the first faces they see, and to be able to spend time with them and walk them through the process is just, I never get tired of that. That is such a great, rewarding experience for me personally, to hear the journey and to see you never get tired of seeing the look on someone's face after they've been released from decades of prison, and to be able to offer them what we could offer them at Options.
Well, I have to tell you, Mike, that's how I came to Options, is through my clients. My my life inmates, individuals that were serving life for non-serious, non-violent offenses, and in California. And I can tell you that everyone that I've referred here has had nothing but glowing things to say about options and about the warm welcome they receive. And it's meant so much to me that you have always opened your arms and your heart to these men and women who have been in such difficult positions for so long, to finally have that freedom and to feel like human again, to be treated like a human being makes such a huge difference.
It does. Yeah.
So I can't tell you how pleased I am with having you, spearheading so many of these new and expanding initiatives. I think the board really appreciates the incredible directions that Options is going and our expansion into other counties. I've spoken with other Options staff members who are so excited about the work that we do that they want it to be a national model. They want Options to be everywhere, and I can't blame them because it has such an impact on so many people. What are some of the challenges and opportunities that you've encountered? What are some as I said before, many staff are curious about how we can make Options even more prominent and how we can serve even more people. Do you have ideas for?
Well, I could answer the challenge piece first. Some of the challenges are the people that don't make it. Unfortunately, I've been doing this for over 10 years now with Options, and I've had several clients succumb to addiction, and that's always a challenge, and it's always difficult. That doesn't get easy. There's always somebody that you see in the beginning that you think, oh, this person's really going to make it, and they don't, and then you see people that you think this person doesn't have a chance, and they do. So that's always challenging, and trying to figure out how to best serve and what will work, because you just don't know. So we try to hit them with a lot, and hoping that something sticks and takes hold. And that's always tough. I've had return clients that have come multiple times over the years that when they get it, they do really, really well. And then you just see them, relapse and fall off again. And it's just really hard. It's challenging. And mere words just don't make the difference sometimes. So there's institutional problems, there's societal problems, there's things that I can't change by myself, and that's challenging.
You're looking at opportunities to continue to build organizational collaborations.
Absolutely.
Opportunities to implement some of your ideas, having been at Options for so long and then leaving to go to another organization to sort of see how things are done there, and now being able to bring that knowledge back to Options and make such a huge difference in expanding our programs. If you had all the resources in the world, all of them today, what is the first thing you would do?
So if I had all the resources, it would definitely be to deal with trauma and the homelessness problem. And I think that is what we focus on at Options. But again, we are small in comparison to the issue and the problem. We've grown, and we are a much bigger organization now, but in the grand scheme of things, we're very small for such a huge, huge problem. So that would be my focus, would be on those issues. I wouldn't want to leave out long-term incarceration either, and getting folks back into the world. But I think that kind of all matches in there.
It's all connected. Again, our theory in my work is that probably 90% of the people that we represent, people that are in prison, there's a substance use disorder problem behind it, and that substance use disorder is related to trauma, generations of trauma, familial trauma, institutional trauma. There is a lot that I think could be repaired by going to those root causes. And I think particularly the navigation work that you're doing and the outreach that you're doing and inreach that you're doing with people and sort of setting up and building a relationship of trust and of humanity makes such a difference. Well, you have to admit that the progress over the last 25 years have been pretty impressive. We've done a lot, and so much of that is a direct result of your efforts and your ideas and your refusal to take no for an answer. So I really thank you for that. I think that's all I have,
Well,
Mike. Is there something you want?
I would just like to say on just to what you just mentioned, just that I really owe it all to Tom Gorm and Davita Cody for the opportunity, because Davita is who hired me initially here. I had the privilege of working with her for several years, which was, awesome. And then being mentored from Tom for years after that to put me in this position to now where I'm working with Justin collaboratively. It's been a great ride, and to work with you and the rest of the board, of course. So I'm just really grateful to be in this position, and it's a lot of fun, for such a tough, tough job. It's a very rewarding job for sure. So I'm actually just very happy to be able to do it.
Oh. Mike, Thomas, thank you so much for talking with us today, and thank you so much for the work you do.
Thank you. My pleasure.
I am Saul Irving, a member of the board of directors here for Options Recovery Services. We're talking to Justin Phillips, Options Executive Director. How are you doing?
Happy to be here. Thank you, Saul.
Okay. I joined the board in 2013 and have watched Options grow and expand. The nice part about it is sitting and watching the lives they've changed, the barriers that have been broken, and watch them change their thinking to the point it changed their behavior. But let me ask you this question. Please tell us about the new programs that are your vision in Options Recovery.
Yeah, I'm happy to. I think, and one of the things that excites me the most to talk about is just the expansion of the Offender Mentor Certification Program that you actually were pivotal in founding many years ago, and has eventually now turned into one of the most successful rehabilitation programs in history in California. And so over the course of the last year, we've expanded from 3 prisons that offered that service that originated in Solano when you were there as the correctional counselor 3, into now 7 prisons. And this is the first year that we've gone live in all 7 prisons, where we're able to go into these institutions and provide the mentors and folks who have demonstrated the ability to change their lives while they are incarcerated, and give them an opportunity to not only continue that journey of transformation, but to also give them real practical skills and training that translates to real world occupation. And so not only is it just a full-time job or a job when they're eventually released, but they're going back in and providing services to their community. So they're going into the system as potentially damaging their community, and they're coming out of the system healing the community. And that's the thing that I think is one of the most exciting. And seeing the number of people who are being released as a result of this, that they've demonstrated over time that they can provide so much healing inside the institution that they get an opportunity they earn their freedom. And when they get out, we want to make sure that they have a safe place to land, that they have the opportunity to contribute, and that they land in the right environment. And that, again, leads into, what is the need? We've identified as an organization that one of the major needs that we see is that people that have made the change inside the institutions to actually have a better life and commit to having a better life, is that they need an environment that supports that perspective. And unfortunately, there are many homes and centers that are not designed for that level of maturity. And so we are happy to announce that, in the upcoming months, we'll be opening up the Tom Gorm Center for Recovery, and that's designed specifically for long-term offenders' re-entry into the community, and is a clean and sober environment that's based on providing a really safe and secure place for folks to re-enter the community and provide back to their community.
All right. I'm excited. I mean, I look at you and the board and Options staff members and the community, and you're making a big impact in, I call it the East Bay, in recovery. I mean, some exciting things. I'm watching people change and going out and doing things. So, congratulations. But can you tell me what brought you here to Options Recovery, and what did you find when you came here, and what do you foresee in the future for Options?
That's a great question. I mean, I think that there's a lot that brought me here, actually. One of the things that I've had the advantage of doing over the course of the last 15 years is observing what works in Alameda County and the surrounding counties in the Bay Area. And the thing that I appreciate are stories and the importance of those stories, and how organizations like Options are founded, why they're founded, and how they develop to become so successful. The innovation that has happened here over the course of the last 25 years is stellar. It's impressive, and it's off the cuff. And one of the things that I learned in my training and growing in the profession is that a lot of times what happens is when programs or agencies whose founding directors or founding members retire, is that they're placed into a high-risk category of either being able to continue thriving or taking a drastically different direction. And because of my relationship with our previous executive director and our founder, Dr. Davida Cody, it was very important to me that the legacy and that the innovation and the kind of front-of-the-line services that we're providing does not take a back step, that we can continue to move forward. And it was a natural fit for me because I've spent my career designing and looking towards the future and investing in organizations and agencies and programs that really promote change and hope. The thing that impressed me when I got here were more stories of watching how the staff interacted with clients, but more importantly, how they got here. Right. And I think that's the thing that's so remarkable, that when you actually see and talk to the staff, they know there's no way that you could identify the labels that they have carried in their past. That for all of us, we've carried labels that communities or systems have put on us for behaviors that we've conducted. But today, our staff get to carry the label of helper, right, of healer, not of criminal or problem. Right. And so what I encourage people to do when we talk about OMCP and we talk about clients that are graduating in treatment is when they come in and interact with our staff that are from the top of the organization all the way down to the people that are driving clients, is that they all have those histories that can relate. They've either come through our programs or they have a similar story, and they go on to achieve master's degrees and PhDs and certification and go on to achieve all these incredible accomplishments, and then are able to contribute in to the agency that helped them by helping others.
Well,
And that's so inspiring.
You're a change agent. And what I see, I'm inspired by is listening to some of the testimonies that some of these guys, it'll blow you away. If someone really doesn't know anything about options recovery, here's a testimony. Yeah. This is what you guys have done in changing them and changing their behavior and becoming productive citizens. Yes. And talk to their kids or their spouses or whatever. It's just, to me, it's phenomenal.
No, and no, you're absolutely right. And I think to comment on that and moving into, where are we going as an organization and how do we take that? Mm-hmm. When we talk about impact in addiction services, right now the leading cause of accidental death in our country is overdose. Mm-hmm. And so who's doing something about that? Right. We are. Right. The question is, who's doing it well and who's just doing it? Right. I want to make sure that we're doing it well and continue to do it well. Mm-hmm. And I'm confident that we are. And when we look at impact, you spoke to this, when you help somebody achieve recovery, that isn't a single measurement of success. Right. That success permeates to the family, to the workforce in which that person's a part of, to extended family that might be struggling with addiction or what have you. And so it's contagious. Now, my goal is to bring that level of contagion throughout California, throughout and extend out of Alameda County into other counties and bring what we do in options so well to other places. Mm-hmm. More recently, we've gone into negotiations and approval to expand into Contra Costa County, where we'll be opening a very large outpatient treatment center in Concord. Mm-hmm. And a very large outpatient treatment center in Richmond. Mm-hmm. And that's, again, expanding the impact. So I think the more people we can bring options to, the more places will get the highest level of care that they deserve.
Right. You were appointed executive director in January of 2021. What are your thoughts on the journey that brought you here? And second, what remains to be done from now on forward with options? Tell me what brought you here.
Sure. Yeah. My story is just like every or many of the stories of folks that come through our doors. Mm-hmm. I had struggled with addiction for a very long time, and I had folks that helped me navigate that process. And my goal was to help as many people as I possibly could. And once I found recovery, it inspired me to pursue a profession that would allow me to have the biggest possible impact. Mm-hmm. And so ultimately, it was through my relationship with Tom and Davida that led me to options and my partnership with them over the course of 15 years. Mm-hmm. And working very closely with Tom and with the team at Options and seeing how and what could be done to expand what was already being done, mm-hmm. Inspired me to become a part of it. And so I think that our future, I think the sky's the limit.
So if I took you 5 years from here,
sure.
What's your vision? Where do you want to go with this?
Well, I think we're going to have a much bigger footprint in California. I think that we're going to have not only have really defined, successful services in Alameda and Contra Costa counties, but I think there'll be many counties that fall throughout California that will be embedded in. I think it starts here. It started here 25 years ago, mm-hmm. And where it ends, the sky's the limit. But I can tell you that I am very optimistic about the future of options. I think that we are well established in California. We are being seen as a national model in terms of rehabilitative services inside institutions. And as more and more people get released from prison that we're training, they're bringing the message of options to the communities that they're a part of. And so I think that with time, the workforce will be largely encompassed by folks that we've developed and trained. And I think that will lead to its own manifestation of something really beautiful. And I don't know what that might be yet, but I think that it's starting already. And you know, my goal is to get it right, make sure that the fidelity and the accuracy and the intention, the spirit and the philosophy of what started Options 25 years ago always remains intact as we grow into the modern age, as we take something that started out of hope and just a thing of beauty 25 years ago into today's technological world and really be at the front line of addiction services.
Excellent, Justin. Thank you very much for talking to us today.
Thank you, Saul. Okay. I appreciate it. It's a pleasure to have you interview me today. I feel like I'm sitting with my own celebrity here today, so I appreciate it, and it's nice to see you.
Thank you.
Options Recovery Services, the treatment and wellness program based in Berkeley, California, dedicated the Thomas P. Gorm Center in a ceremony at the center's location in Oakland, Thursday, June 2nd, to honor the building's namesake, former executive director of Options and husband to the program's founder, the late Davida Cody. Co-chair for Options Board of Directors Susan Champion welcomed those in attendance, including notable community leaders and politicians, and opened the dedication with an anecdote reflecting on her first encounter with Tom.
I was at a board meeting, and in walks late this guy who looked very, very professional and very on top of things, and I thought, oh my goodness, this must be another board member. And it was only during the meeting that I realized that no, he was actually on leadership staff of Options. And by the way, he's also married to the founding director. Oh, and then later it turned out that I discovered that he was actually one of Options' first clients.
Current executive director for Options and Tom's successor, Justin Phillips, then took the stage to act as master of ceremonies and introduce the event's speakers.
Today is really about celebrating the career of Mr. Thomas P. Gorm and his contribution to not only Options, but the thousands and thousands of lives that have been impacted by his efforts.
Former Berkeley Mayor Tom Bates acknowledged the significant impact Options has had on the community and the positive transformations of the many who have walked through Options doors and halls.
And I was very fortunate to be the mayor for 14 years. And during that time, I attended maybe 10 or 15 different graduations. And it's so inspiring to see these people turn their lives around and be able to become productive, positive citizens.
Retired member of the California State Senate and Assembly and Mayor Bates' spouse, Lonnie Hancock, provided a first-hand account of how Options mission successfully rehabilitated and enhanced the life of a client she witnessed graduate.
One of my thrilling moments was a couple of years after that first graduation, somebody came up to me at a meeting, a really nice, good-looking guy, and said, "Hey, remember me? I was in that Options graduation. Now I'm a drug and alcohol abuse counselor."
Oakland City Council member Lauren Taylor celebrated the lasting impact Tom's life and legacy continue to have on the community at large.
And I'm extremely excited about this building, the services, the dedication that we are here to do. His impact that he has had, the legacy, is something that not only is felt today through Options and its impact across the East Bay, but it's something that I'm excited will continue to live on and be amplified.
Executive Director Justin Phillips returned to share his own experience working under Tom and learning from his example, including the purchase of the very building being dedicated.
Tom lived by this theme of meeting the need first, of doing first and figuring out later. And one of the things that led to was the purchase of this property. And initially, when I came on board, we didn't really know what we were going to do with this property or how it was going to be designated or what the use was be, but Tom knew that it would develop into something. And in this dedication, Tom will be memorialized as the person who's responsible for changing the lives of so many. That his name will be attached to this building forever. He made the world a better place. And in reflection, that's all we could ever hope for. And today we recognize that. Today we celebrate that. And today we named this building the Tom Gorm Center.
Finally, the man of the hour himself, Tom Gorm, took the stage, during which time he reflected on his own experiences with homelessness as an Options client, as well as his unwavering faith in the purpose the center would serve to those in need.
So here we are, and I really didn't know what we would do with this building, but I knew driving by encampments, having been a homeless person for over a decade myself, I knew there was plenty of people to fill this up. People that have spent decades in prison, they don't need another drink. Women who have lost their children and got them back to Child Protective Services, they don't need another joint, period. And so abstinence-based is the only way for some of us. And for me, it's just been a long, incredible journey since September 8th, 1998.
Justin Phillips made announcements regarding the center's purpose and function, announcing the leaders responsible for the program catering to former inmates taking place within.
I want to just announce a couple things. So the Thomas P. Gorham Center will be designated as a reassimilation and reentry housing and supportive services for people who need clean and sober housing coming out of long-term incarceration, and ultimately will serve as a bridge for the many of OMCP graduate. There's a couple of folks that I want to mention here today that are here in attendance that will play a very big role in this. One of whom is Kathy Narasaki, who is going to be the director for the program. But I also want to recognize another person who's in the audience today who will serve as the program supervisor for the site and for all of the great work that we're going to be doing in here. And that's Mr. George Smith. We're very honored to have George be willing to contribute and work as the supervisor here.
The ceremony concluded with a proclamation and dedication from the City of Oakland, provided by Councilmember Taylor's Chief of Staff, Pamela Farron.
Options Recovery Services has served 1,000 clients through every intervention and treatment program, placed over 200 clients in emergency shelter. In 2019, Options Recovery Services purchased the former Casa Vicentia Covenant at 3210 62nd Avenue here in Oakland in District 6, and Options Recovery Services entered into a contract with the California Department of Corrections and Rehabilitation to provide entry services for up to 25 former inmates at the facility. In the spring of 2022, the restored building and Covenant will be dedicated as the Thomas P. Gorman Center in honor of Thomas Gorman.
Thank you everyone for being here tonight, for taking the time to celebrate with us and to really recognize this center for what it can be and what it will be. In your name, congratulations.
Finally got back to Options, and it's been a year, and it's been a hell of a year, and I've learned a lot about me this time. It's been about steps 6 and 7, turning it over to God and letting him take my character defects away because I cannot. And so I've met people here that I think I will know for a lifetime, and the others I will pocket them in my heart and take them with me.
The help of Options, the help of Pam, and all of you guys, I did what I had to do, and I'm going to continue to do what I have to do.
I've learned many lessons from my time in Options Recovery, a few being that there is always room for improvement. Anyone can benefit from extra treatment. Alcoholizing is not actually a word in the dictionary, and how important the community is to recovery.
I've learned in the Options program humility, concentration, to work out the pros and cons of my actions, and how to meditate on any decision that I make.
I'm glad I went to this program, and taught me a lot of things that I didn't know about myself. And just looking forward to bringing my new knowledge into my my new life.
I come to realize my recovery is a life-changing moment for me. And I'm glad I came to Options.
I like to thank Options, especially my counselors, Unera and Cole, for allowing me to gain the tools that I very much needed to become a productive member of society again.
I want to thank the staff at Options for supporting me through this challenging year and believing in me. Thank you for helping me get back on my feet after the house fire. And thank you for the resources you all have given me to bettering my life. I've learned that though life throws a lot of curveballs at me, I can get through everything sober.
I'm so grateful for everything that I've learned in this program. I've learned new coping skills. I've learned how to identify harmful patterns and set healthy boundaries, and how to just breathe and accept where I am in this moment.
Options has been very good to me. I'm 62 years old. I do not have another relapse or overdose in me. I no longer look for my face in the obituaries. I don't have a death wish.
And Options have helped me towards becoming the woman I can be proud of, as well as a better mother to my children.
And Options has just been a really great program for me to learn how to deal with a lot of my past trauma.
My goal when I walked in Options was to get clean, get my life back, and continue my journey. And that's what I've been doing ever since I've been in Options.
I'm glad to be graduating from one of the best recovery programs out here, doing very deep and thorough work, also accepting beneficial feedback from the most patient, professional, yet understanding counselors.
Yes, my life has changed. I don't want to get into all the details because I'm not the one to type to boast, but it's amazing. Put it like that. I'm doing great. Can't stress that enough.
Back in 2019, I was a hopeless dope fiend. Today I feel like a dopeless hope fiend.
I want to say that I'm grateful for Options for giving me a safe place to work on myself and get my life back together. I'm tired of the streets and things are starting to fall in place. And I do owe Options for that.
You know, God has given me a better vision than who I was from before. And after dealing with Options, it's just going to make me want to work even more and just keep moving forward.
I just want to say thank you to Options for giving me the opportunity to learn copy skills and tools to maintain my sobriety. I'm so grateful.
If I hadn't quit drinking and using drugs and smoking cigarettes, I really don't know if I'd be here today.
Really want to acknowledge that the person that you see here is humbled and appreciative. All the hard work that I've done is a reflection of the staff at Options.
I just want to express my gratitude to the Options program. When I think about who I was a year ago when I first came here, I really didn't think I was going to be able to be successful. It just seemed like such a giant mountain to climb. And I luckily have had, I think, 5 different counselors over my time here at Options, and each one of them taught me things in a slightly different way.
I like to thank Options, but really, I like to thank John, Stuart, George, Robert, and Sam. They, them was my counselor. And to tell you the truth, if you guys can get me to be 12 months sober, you guys did a great job, because I haven't been a year sober in 26 years.
Options has allowed me to love myself again. It's given me my self-worth, my self-esteem. It's allowed me to love my family properly, without the toxic masculinity and the violence.
I learned, even through you guys, I got into a health wellness class. I did so much stuff through Options, even working on my temper.
I really appreciate Options. Before Options, I was in a pretty bad place. Mentally unfit, heavy addiction, homelessness, and a lifestyle involving crime. And since I've been in Options, it's been a long road. it wasn't always easy. It's not very very comfortable challenging myself. You know, there was always this high demand. You know, everything revolved around my addiction. You know, and I knew I had to make some changes. And coming to options, we learned lots of various different coping strategies, how to appreciate, you know, feelings, how it is that I'm feeling